How's it going, YouTube? So I decided to buy a bunch of, some Ganzo knives that I never tried before, because they're pretty fun and really worth the price. I figured make some good content. This one's the F753M1. And if you've never seen inside one of the boxes before, you get like a sunglasses bag. Well, that's what it looks like. And here's the knife. When I purchased this, I did not know there's two different sizes of this. So if I would have known that when I was on Amazon, I would have bought the full size one, but I didn't. The one with the outlet M in the number, it's a full size. So you know, Amazon don't put the sizes at least in inches. So this one $21.95, which is a great price. Ganzos are well worth the money. This one comes with 440C steel. Much rather have that over D2 anyway. Got a 3-inch drop point blade, satin finish, flat grind. And blade stock on this one is 2.6 millimeters or 0.10. So pretty thin blade. Relatively slicey. And let's check out the edge. If you guys ever get these in the mail, I don't know if that's just where I live, but they make great paper for cutting. That's really sharp for what you're paying for. They also got a really nice even bevel on this. I don't know how many $100 knives I've bought that have had a horrible looking bevel and didn't cut. So this knife is on washers. Was a little stiff when I got it. Took it apart and put my own oil in it. Played with it for a little while and it has loosened up. Still, pretty strong detent for springs. Definitely on the stronger side. A little bit harder to flick. And you really gotta have a strong finger to reverse flick it. But unlike most crossbar locks, this one is easy to take apart and get to the springs. Really shocked me. Both sides of the pivot you can take out. Unlike most, you got to pull the whole pivot out and just, oh, it's a mess. This one, easy. So 7 inches overall. Let's do some size comparisons. First I'll do a couple other Ganzos. FH41S. And Ganzo's newest model, the FH924, my favorite. Definitely smaller, but it's about the same size as the FH41S, maybe. Yeah, pretty much the same. Don't have a whole lot of $20 knives to compare it to. It's the K-Bar Dozier. Definitely a little bigger. And Civivi Elementum. Pretty close to Elementum, definitely smaller than Dozier. I have a couple Sativians I could have used, but they were quite a bit bigger. Got a 4-inch handle. 0.46 inches wide, and the close width in the pocket is 1.12 inches. Forgot to mention, this is on washers. It's got one bronze on one side, and on the other side it was a Teflon or plastic nylon. Not really sure. It was white. T6 body screws on the clips. Pivots T8. 2.85 ounces. Do have some weight relief on the inside. And the clip is reversible. Not really deep carry. And kind of looks like a Spyderco clip, not gonna lie. Prefer it better if it didn't look like that. Yep, different sizes, different screw pattern, but as far as I know, this is not copying any knife that I know of. Definitely not any Spydercos I've seen. I know they got one that does look like a Spyderco and one that looks like an Ontario, but nothing they've produced that I've seen has been a full-on clone. This one is Orange G10, as you can see, since it's close to Halloween. Figured why not? Don't have a whole lot of orange. And as you see, this is a crossbar lock, or they call it the G-lock. And it does have a thick old spring on it. I have a picture of the knife apart that'll be posted somewhere in this video. I'll take it apart again, but tried some other springs in it. None of them worked good. So springs stay. Deployment methods, you got these studs stick out just slightly past the scale, and then not really in love with where they're placed, but you can get to them easily. A little bit sharp. I'll talk more about that on the dislikes, or you can deploy it with the crossbar lock. You got a lanyard hole, no back spacer. Liners are not inset, sadly, but it's $22. Can't complain. And you do have a good sharpening tool. Imagine that. You can get a good sharpening tool for $22, but spend $50, $60, $100, you're not getting one. Dislikes. Let's get into those. This is my just personal preference on this one. Not really a big fan of washers. I know they're good for work, but it makes the action a little bit harder to get right. I've got it right now, but yeah. The spring is a little bit strong for this knife. Unless you like a stout detent, this one might be a little strong for you. I will say, if they're using the same exact springs on the bigger version, it'll probably be all good, because it'll have a bigger blade and it'll probably work better. Studs. That's probably the biggest problem on this knife. It's really close to the scale. A little bit harder to deploy. I understand why it's there, because it's out of the cutting path. But to fix that, they should cut back the scale a little bit more, I guess, or moved it over in the cutting path and made it removable. I don't know. Not really sure, but yeah, not the most comfortable stud. I'm getting used to it though. A little bit harder to reverse flick this knife. And of course the clip, my last dislike. It's not deep carry and it's kind of Spyderco-esque. I don't like the Spyderco version, so yeah. I like all Ganzos I bought. This one does have a little bit more flaws than most of them, but if you like a stout detent and you're not going to be fidgeting with it a lot, this one will probably be good. It's also in 440C, so you're not going to have to worry about rust. Going to definitely check out more soon. So I'll have this link down below as with the big one too. And subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a like or comment, and see you in the next one.